Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new version of the Strategy Shift podcast. I'm really excited to have you here today. There's a lot of stuff we're going to cover, and I would love to show you some examples as we get a little further on. But I want to make sure you're in the right place first. This is called the Strategy Shift podcast, and it's all about this idea of anything that is happening in an organization where there are problems, where there's lack of revenue or customer service. All these things stem from misalignment in an organization. I got this great quote here that really started everything off for me some time ago, and it was from Jim Collins in the book Good to Great. He says, building a visionary company requires 1% vision and 99% alignment. If you are having problems in your organization, you can't reach some goals. There's strategies that are just not occurring. This is the right place. We're going to talk about alignment and misalignment in teams and how you can so quickly see them to build what Jim Collins referred to as the great company. Well, first thing I'd like to do is I would encourage you to go to the right hand side. I believe it's the right hand side of your screen. Tell me where you're connecting from and what brought you to the podcast or what brought you to this LinkedIn Live. It usually makes the conversation a lot more interesting. All right. My name is Vinay Raman. I am the CEO of Carmo. We're a company that helps organizations build alignment or understand, I should say, understand their alignment between their teams and their strategy. Because if there is alignment or misalignment, those things help and or hinder you. Here's a quick analogy. You will see it's called the Strategy Shift podcast, and let me tell you why. Is because when I have raced cars or been on the racetrack with cars, uh, it occurred to me once that the left wheel going left and the right wheel going right is not very effective. How many times in organizations, and this is the sixth company that I've run, how many times have I seen or felt something was wrong, but I couldn't tell what it was? The strategy shift is when you shift gears between cars, going up or down, there's a change in the alignment of the vehicle or the car, and I'm trying to go faster on the track. But in business, it's the same thing. Leadership is all about alignment, and or the lack of misalignment. So this whole podcast is dedicated to this idea of alignment and misalignment and how to create it. In coming weeks, we'll actually even have some guests who are going to be joining us and talking to about the alignment and misalignment challenges and how they would address issues themselves. Let me tell you. So I would love for you to go to the comment box and tell me a little bit about yourself. What brought you to this podcast? What resonates with you about this idea of alignment or misalignment? Or is it just a buzzword that you've heard? If you can go to the box, I would appreciate that. Type in your comments. If you're watching after a live show, please type in pound replay before your comment. I'll actually know that you're coming in after the live show itself. Okay, let's get to this. So, what I'm going to do today is I want to present to you a company, and I'm going to give you a brief overview of who they are and what they're all about, and what was observed in the company, or what is the leadership observed in the company, kind of the gut feel, the feeling that they had, and they may not have been able to put their finger on exactly what it was. Question for you is: have you ever felt that before in your organization that you knew something was wrong, kind of felt it in your gut? There's a lot of people say I'm a gut feel kind of person. The gut is usually pretty powerful in its ability to sense something, but it doesn't give lots of clarity and definition. So we're going to present you a company and show you what was kind of observed, what they kind of had a sense for. Then we're going to start to talk about using a tool that'll help you very quickly visualize where those alignment issues are. And then we're going to kind of start to talk about the impact. And finally, an approach that could be taken to doing that. Now, we don't do the consultation as a organization. We actually just identify the problems. So let me tell you about us real quick as a company, just so you know who's talking and what we do. We do build tools and diagnostics and tool sets for organizations to very quickly understand where the problems are. If you don't have an alignment machine in the mechanic shop or the repair shop, you won't know that the left tire and the right tire are out of alignment. So how do you align them? Well, you have to put them on a rack or the machine to actually get them so the left and right wheel are pointing forward together. If you don't, well, then you'll still be fighting those wheels and trying to make your turns and trying to make forward progress. So we build tools, diagnostics, just as you would build a tool for or a machine that actually does it for the alignment of your vehicle. We build tools for businesses so they can get that alignment just right. If you have any thoughts or questions, I would encourage you to share them in the comments as you feel them. We'll stop and answer them as necessary. All right, so let's kind of keep going here. A little bit about me. I'm a husband and father of three. I've got degrees in math, computer science, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So being around data and analytics for a long time. Worked at the Department of Defense, Homeland Security, some intelligence agencies for another Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 companies. But I think most importantly, as I consider myself outside of a father and a husband, is a data empath. I see people's stories through data. And that's what we're going to do is spend a little bit of time today so you can see some of the data or the visualizations that come from data and how that shows you where that misalignment is in a team. Okay. Here, I'm going to share my screen so you can see a little bit of what I'm talking about. All right. You should be able to see this now. And here's what I'm going to tell you about is a company called Apex Solutions. This has all been fictional. And the CEO of the company's name is Sarah Mitchell. They're in the financial services. They're a little less than 10 million in revenue. This is actually real company data, but we've abstracted all the names and de-identified the company and the names, people, so on and so forth. And the biggest challenges that Sarah had was identifying sort of these leadership perspectives and getting them all together on the financial health of the company and what is their market position and what is their employee engagement. Curious, have you ever felt that there were some things that you just couldn't get everybody on your team aligned and seeing the same vision on the same destination? I'd love to hear. Please type it in the comments. Sarah also realized that there were some conflicting priorities and things that were kind of they were just butting heads internally. And she wanted to find a way past it. And how could she do that? That was a challenge, and leadership and alignment surveys typically take lots of time. Part of this podcast was this idea that we can see it in less than 30 minutes. So, as we go through this, I'm going to share with you how you can see that misalignment in her team and that alignment in her team, what they're doing really well, and where there's some friction in just a couple of moments. Okay, let's keep rolling here. So I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit for you so you can see this is a slide telling you a little bit about Sarah. So there's a series of questions that we asked Sarah, and asking Sarah as the CEO, this is how she sees things. This outside edge here is on a scale of it's on a scale of 1 to 10. Inside at the center is a 1. Outside on the outside edge is a 10. Customer attention, employee satisfaction, operational efficiency, innovation, and agility are all things that she sees as quite strong. I'm curious, do you see that? And I'm going to ask you one more question here. Do you see a story about Sarah? I'll give you a moment to ponder that for a moment, because I would love to hear what you're hearing about Sarah. You can see the blue areas where that covers Sarah, and the gray is the average of our leadership team. Do you see the story that is emerging already by just looking at this one graphic? And I'll tell you, it probably took her about 3 minutes to fill this information out for us. While you're thinking about that, I want to tell you about how important this alignment is. McKinsey says that organizations with strong alignment between leadership, roles, and culture are 70% more likely to successfully execute their strategies. Here's why that matters. If you can start to see this visually, what that misalignment is between her and her team, you can start to understand how to potentially address it. If you saw a narrative, or if you started to understand a story, I'd love for you to go to the comments. Tell me what what did what came up to you. What did you start to think? Because I want to share some more with you. So, also, if you're watching after the live event, please type in pound replay just so I know you're watching afterwards. All right, let's go to the next thing here. I'm going to skip a little bit of that because I want to kind of start to show you visually the misalignment. Now, here's the promise I make oftentimes when I'm going to conferences that it takes less than 90 seconds to show you what this information is. And once you see it, you can't really unsee it. It becomes painfully obvious. In this case, Sarah is red. It was blue in the last one. In this case, it's red. And John, her CFO, is blue. There's no rhyme or reason for the red or the blue. That's just the colors that happened to be picked. But remember again, on the outside edge is uh, highly agree or strongly agree. Inside edge is strongly disagree. So high confidence on the outside edges, low confidence on the inside edges. The red describes Sarah's confidences and her strength of agreement, and blue shows John, her CFO, and his strength of agreement or confidence. I want to give you a moment here. Take a look at this. Do you sense conflict in this team? Do you sense that there are things that they're not aligned on? And even further, can you see how that might affect their relationship and their ability to execute? If you have a thought or comment, I would love for you to drop that into the comment box. I'd love to hear what you're coming up with because I'll give you a um, really interesting African proverb that I've used for a long time. It says, if you want to go fast and go alone, if you want to go far, go together. Here's why I bring this up. Does it look like John and Sarah, in this case, are going together? Are they going alone? I might suggest that they're not going together. Look at these outsized areas here: operational efficiency, employee satisfaction, customer retention, agility, innovation. Those are the places where Sarah feels quite strong. John feels customer satisfaction, strategic alignment, communication, and global presence are quite strong. You see how they have different narratives? There's different perceptions as to what's happening in their organization for them. This fundamentally shifts how they're going to act. Now, if Sarah says, for example, let's take a look an example, operational efficiency, right? Sarah has relatively high score. John has a relatively low score, okay? Or even there's operational efficiency, customer satisfaction. John has a high score. Sarah has a low score. If they want to have a senior leadership meeting at this organization and they want to talk about their operational efficiency as this is what we're going to do and work in the next 90 days, how is John going to respond to that? "Oh, we've got some foundational things that we need to change." How is Sarah going to respond to that? Everything's looking great. Why are we spending time on this? There's other areas that we need to be spending time on. Now, let me ask a question. Do you believe in that meeting between John and Sarah, they're going to be discussing the actual issue or spending all of their time justifying their perspective? I'd love to hear what you think. Go to the comments and tell me if you believe that there is alignment on this idea of operational efficiency. Are they talking about the topic anymore in their leadership discussion? Probably not, because they see it completely different. Sarah sees that operational efficiency is a huge bonus or huge strength that they have. John sees this as not a strength. The if I want to go 500 miles, getting on walking by foot may not be my first choice. I might be going on an airplane. If I want to go to the refrigerator, I'm probably not going to be going to on an airplane. I'm going to be going by foot. Here's what I'm saying: is the problem, the definition of the problem justifies the vehicle that helps you get there, the methodology, but you have to define what the problem is first. And if you can see here, operational efficiency is not the problem in this organization. It's the difference in how they see things. Um, there's a quote I have here. It says, "Team alignment isn't about forcing everyone to think alike. It's about rallying around a common purpose." Do you think Sarah and John rallying around that common purpose? Probably not. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments if that's resonating with you. If you believe yourself there's something that you and your leadership team or your team don't agree on. If you don't, stay to the end. I'll show you how you can get these visualizations in just a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes. But in a couple of seconds, you'll be able to read and see this level of misalignment. Then you can actually talk about the real issue because you understand how you see it differently. And you can coalesce or come up with what that shared reality is. Clearly, in operational efficiency and customer satisfaction, there's not a shared reality today. Um, Deloitte had this fantastic quote that I like. It says, "Companies with strong alignment and employee engagement see up to a 25% improvement in productivity and profitability." Let me read that again from Deloitte in 2020. It says, "Companies with strong alignment and employee engagement see up to 25% improvement in productivity and profitability." There's not alignment here. Is there any room for productivity? Probably not. All right, let's keep moving here. I want to show you some other examples. I want to show you how different this is, and I will share that basically what these slides here are showing some of the returns on investment that you can get by getting in alignment. In this case, employee engagement can lead to 23% higher profitability for a $10 million company. That's $2.3 million by getting John and Sarah on the same team. It's significant how much misalignment plays a part in the friction for your company. Let's go take a look at David here. David is the chief marketing officer. I'll stop for a moment here. I'd like to hear in the comments what you think about this. Are David and Sarah misaligned in what they see? Remember, outside edge, strongly agree. Inside, strongly disagree. Do Sarah and excuse me, Sarah and David see eye to eye on things? What do they see eye to eye on? What do they not see eye to eye? And what is the impact of that lack of alignment and the misalignment? I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. I'm going to share with you in a second here. But let's take a look at employee satisfaction here. In this case, Sarah says employee satisfaction is very, very high. David says it's very, very low. So once again, David may be a fantastic chief marketing officer. Sarah might be a fantastic CEO, but are they actually discussing issues at all? Are they actually able to solve problems? Because stat here I have, it says Gartner from 2021 says that 40% of organizations report that poor team alignment has directly resulted in lost revenue opportunities. So this misalignment right here is responsible for revenue that has been lost for the company. Gartner says 40% of organizations report that poor team alignment has directly resulted in lost revenue opportunities. Wouldn't you like to find out how much has been lost or how to stop or stanch that bleeding of opportunities that could have been won that are not because of this misalignment? When they come to the table to talk about issues together, Sarah and David on this topic of employee satisfaction, Are they actually talking about the same thing? No, they're talking about their perceptions most of the time. That discussion is no longer about the actual issue of employee satisfaction. It is about who is seeing it right because they don't understand why the other person doesn't see it the same way. So, can you see that? Well, look, on this idea of agility as a company, they agree, right? On this idea of operational efficiency, they agree, or they're pretty close in alignment. It's things like this where strategic alignment and for David and for Sarah, they're just missing each other, talking past each other. No work, no productivity, no profitability is coming as a result of that. I'd love to hear in the comments if you've got a thought or a question about this. Please feel free to chime in. If you are watching after the live event, please type in pound replay. All right. Let's we're getting close on time here to the 30 minutes. I actually want to show you. I'm going to see if this is Rachel, COO. I'm going to show you this graphic here. Wow, there's a lot going on the screen. And if you hadn't seen some of those other ones, it might not be very intelligible. But the dark black area, or outlined in black, the black area is the shared reality. This is what everybody believes as an average belief. So you can see customer satisfaction, alignment, strategic alignment, revenue growth, customer satisfaction, global presence are some areas, and even communication are some areas that they've got stronger confidence on. These places like employee satisfaction, brand reputation, quality control. No, they're not sharing the same confidence in those areas. Now, as an organization, just by looking at this, can you see where they might need to focus as a company? Does it make it crystal clear where everybody believes that there are some low hanging fruit or some wins to be had? Yeah, I think so. Right. Employee satisfaction, brand reputation, and quality control of those areas. Um, Accenture says 43% of in 2021 said 43% of executives cite misalignment in teams as the leading reason for failed projects. This is for a senior leadership team. Imagine for David, who is the chief marketing officer, if this was the level of alignment in that chief marketing officer's organization, do you think they're making lots of forward progress? Look at this. Look at how quickly you can tell where there's challenges in this organization. And here's the beautiful thing. We're 22 minutes into this podcast, and you can see how much misalignment in the organization is. Employee satisfaction, brand reputation, quality control. You can see where the areas of alignment are. You can also see, for example, Sarah here is in yellow at this time, right? You can where she believes there's lots of strength. Now you can start to ask the question of why. Why does she believe there's such strength there? In this case, I think this is Mark, the chief technology officer in this pink area here. This red is Rachel. You can start to see John, the CFO, believes that global presence is quite strong, communication, strategic alignment. It shows you where there are misalignments in the organization and the steps that you can take to get closer. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Once you see this, can that change the conversation that you have with your team? Absolutely. You can ask a question. How come you see it that way? Well, we got this, we got this, we got this. Does it allow you start asking the right questions? You know, a lot of people think that having the right answers is what makes you smart. Actually, I believe that having the right questions is the proves that you're smart. Now, can you ask better questions? Yeah, you can. That's the point. And still 24 minutes into this show, and you can see how much alignment and misalignment is in their teams. Here's the beautiful part. The taking all of this, getting this level of visualization for your organization takes just moments. Each individual in this team, and this is a real company, we just abstracted and de-identified the names, took this same exact diagnostic. And that diagnostic took 3 to 5 minutes to be able to build a visualization like this. Imagine how powerful that would be to be able to see what the alignment and misalignment of your teams is in seconds like this. And the return on investment is massive. There's one I'm looking for here. uh, MIT Sloan School of Management in 2022 released the statistics that organizations with high internal alignment are 3.5 times more likely to achieve their annual revenue goals. Is that interesting? Tipping the odds in your favor. Organizations with high internal alignment are 3.5 times more likely to achieve their revenue goals. That's what this visualization will show you, how to achieve your revenue goals. Um, Bain and Company said in 2021, companies with well-aligned teams are 30% faster in executing strategies and see 50% fewer project delays. Is that interesting? There's the statistics go on and on about revenue and um, efficiency, operationally, productivity, profitability, execution strength, customer service. It's pretty compelling. So I want to invite you to be able to do this for yourself. Try it out for yourself as an individual and start to see what your scores are and how you compare to others in your industry and how you baseline or how you compare to the benchmark in your industry. Yeah, take you to that screen here. If you want to find what that level of misalignment is just for yourself in just a couple of seconds, you can go here to this QR code. Thought I had one with a. Here's the QR code that you can scan or you can type drop into the direct message um, alignment, and I will get you a link to the diagnostic. It'll take you about three, maybe as much as 5 minutes maximum. And in that time, you will find out how to see your own alignment, misalignment, and how strong you are in industry, how you compare to other leaders in the industry. And if it's interesting from there, if you want to be able to baseline yourself against others in industry and how you perceive your company, how strong you are, there's about 5,000, I think we're at 5,009 leaders who've taken this diagnostic. If you'd like to understand how you compare, you can take this, and that's a free report. When you want to be able to understand how your whole team is, let's have a conversation. I'd love to be able to share with you what you'll get out of that and how you can start to see your team's misalignment to create these incredible ROIs. There's a blog post that I read, and it made this fantastic statement. It said, if you're having problems with your company, you're having problems with your organization, any type of any organization, government, nonprofit, for profit, whatever else it is, B2B, B2C, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you're having problems in your company, your organization, probably 95% of those issues can be traced back to alignment and misalignment issues. You want to find out what those alignment, misalignment issues are? Go to this QR code. You don't have to talk to me. Take this QR, go to this QR code, take the diagnostic, and you'll be sent an automatic report that shows you what your alignment and misalignment levels are. Hopefully, you enjoyed the show. Love to hear in the comments if you've got any thoughts or any questions. I will type in the link to this as well in the comments if you would like to go directly there. Thank you for your time. Hopefully, this was useful. I hope you're able to get your organization aligned. It is the secret that's not a secret.